ClearStream, unlike Tracer Plus, ClearStream is our fixed RFID solution. And this allows you to do that same kind of idea with source and destinations of data. But in this case, your source of data is pretty much always going to be your RFID readers. So you would build a list of devices, ClearStream devices, I'm sorry, RFID devices supporting ClearStream. And you can add an LLRP compatible device. This is sort of an industry-wide protocol that's supported by many devices. It could be a Zebra specific or any number of these specific custom devices. So in this case, I'll just add a second device, ClearStream 2. And what I'm saying here is that I want to use ClearStream device 2. Anything I get from that reader, I want to push over somewhere to a text file or to ODBC. In this case, I'll use the ClearStream sample, and I'll push it over to, let's say, my RFID tag list, right? And what we're going to be doing then is taking any data coming from an RFID tag read, which includes the reader name, the EPC tag, the TID data bank, the user memory bank, some other information about the read, like which antenna it came in on, what the power level was, what the date time of the read was, and a bunch of other things here. So I can map all these fields and then send them over to this database. I don't have a reader hooked up at the moment, so I can't really show you that, but that's the basic idea. So again, this is capable of sending RFID tags really quickly. I just set this up right now to any number of different data destinations. So ODBC or SQL Server directly, or Excel files is very popular, text files, or even a custom endpoint. So if you wanted to email a list of all tags read as an attached document, you could do that, or you could send it to a web service API endpoint. If I go in here and I just select a new endpoint of URL, you could set your URL endpoint. That may be too technical for some folks, but just know that that exists. So that's pretty much it. And then when you go into ClearStream, one of the things you'll do in this Windows application here too is you'll be able to start and stop readers. You can also run this as a Windows service, so at a system level, this can be running kind of in the background. That would auto start these readers, but this gives you some control over at a UI level to start and stop different readers. And when you start and stop those readers, they are going to respect the settings that are available for each one of these readers. So readers can be put into a continuous scan mode, or maybe scanning only once every 5 minutes, or even triggered by a photo sensor, GPI, or any kind of input trigger can turn those on. Antennas can be configured and named, so I can add a bunch of antennas, and I can name them, east side, west side, whatever makes sense for what the antenna represents, things like that. You can also control the power levels. So there's any number of these settings, but again, as an overview, I don't want to go too much into that. There's a lot of settings in here that would be too deep to run through, but this is a lot of RFID sort of tech that's supported here. Things like not reading the same tag over and over, just read it once and then let it sort of sleep for 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 5 minutes, whatever it may be. That's called moderation. You can set some event descriptions here, things along those lines. This is where you can turn GPO, general purpose output ports, on or off based on certain events. So maybe we get a tag read and we want to turn the light on. You can do that with the tag read alert. So just know that those kind of options exist. So that's basically ClearStream in a nutshell.